So I'm teaching Netapp, Hitachi, Ansible, EMC, VMware, and Linux. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the syllabus. I have used Ansible with uh, Netapp and PowerMax. In Netapp, what you normally do is you need to install Ansible. Okay. Ansible packages of Ansible Galaxy, WinRM package, all these packages you need to install. You also need to install Python and pip also. Okay. And then what you need to do is you need to configure your inventories, your playbooks, each and everything. And there's a tool in Netapp which is called as workflow automation tool, which you can use to automate Netapp task. So I'll be covering this stuff in my training, not today, but I'll be covering this. This you can see, right? If you see this course syllabus, you can see I'll be covering this thing. Okay. So I'll also cover how do you automate your SAN and NAS task using Ansible, Python, and PowerShell. So I'll just be, but automation will only be done in Netapp and EMC, not on Hitachi because I've not done in Hitachi. Okay. So today, I'll tell you one thing once again. Let me go to my website. Yeah, this is my YouTube channel. Okay. So if you see this, right, I have discussed about how to create Netapp array, physical Netapp array from scratch. How do you install Netapp array? Okay. Uh, you can go to the Learn Infra website and just click on this YouTube button. Okay. It will take you to that website, YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah. So you will see the cluster, how do we created the cluster, physical cluster, and then you'll see how do I create software defined storage, how do I deploy software defined storage clusters. Okay. And also I showed flex group. You will understand these things. And then replications, I showed asynchronous snap mirror volume level replication, vault replication, which is basically backup, cascaded one. Okay. Like snap mirror and then snap vault, and then SVMDR, which is vServer based replications. Then I showed ONTAP upgrade, and I showed these people switch upgrade, and also I showed you know Hitachi. In I have not recorded the Hitachi sessions, and I'll not be recording every sessions here. Just only the things which are like little bit complicated. I will share this here. So many people has complained that the training is too advanced. So I want to make it very basic. So right today I will just teach people about basic concepts for Netapp ONTAP. Okay. So in Netapp we have different kind of ways. Centricity is there and ONTAP is there. Centricity is for Netapp E and Netapp EF series, which is like high performance for high performance workloads. But ONTAP is much more popular. Okay, Centricity is not being used that much by uh, different companies. If you go, yeah, if you go to companies, right, if you are looking for a job in storage as a storage architect, you have to know at least two storage vendors, either Netapp or Hitachi or Netapp or EMC, Netapp and Pure, and you should know about little bit of backup knowledge. You should have VMware knowledge, Linux knowledge, okay, and you should have automation knowledge and cloud knowledge. Then you'll be able to handle that. You'll be able to do design the architecture, infrastructure. Okay. So these are the things, and also teach about Netapp cloud. You can go through the syllabus here. There are a lot of stuff there. So today I will teach you this. I have the lab here. One second. So today, uh, I will teach you about this. How do I create, disk partitioning? How do I see the advanced disk partitioning? How do I create a data aggregate? How do I create a subnet? And why do you need these things? How do I create storage virtual machines? What all these things? Why do you need? Okay, so those things I will teach today. So just one second. and each and every step I'll tell you, you know, what is why do you need that, those things. Yeah. So if you want to learn automation, then basic Linux knowledge, basic Python uh, knowledge is very important. Okay, so suppose I'm working on software defined storage, the knowledge of VMware is important because my Netapp nodes will be created on ESX server, which I've showed here in this lab. Okay, I mean you can just go through this video. So it's a lot of stuff there. Yeah. So just let me open this. One second. Yeah. First command that you need to run is row 0. It will give you a very nice format. Otherwise, whenever you run or execute commands, it will just like you have to again enter. It will go like more command is there, right? Pipe more command. It will be like similar to that. And Netapp, this putty will timer itself after 2 hours of idle time. Okay, so I'll just make it timeout 0. System. Okay, yeah. Now it will not get timed out. So in my lab environment, I have two node HA pair. Okay. Yesterday I showed that ONTAP select cluster, which was software defined storage. There I had only one HA pair. Means it's having only single node. So it was single node cluster. So basically, what is cluster? Cluster is basically group of physical storage controllers or nodes. You know that are joined together so that they can serve the data to the end users and have redundancy and load balancing. Okay. So suppose one node is down, right? Then another node can help you to, you know, end users to have the access to your dish shelves. So that's why in Netapp, what happens, you know, it's crisscross connections are there. So I'll show these things in some other sessions where I'll explain the Netapp architecture. So yeah, so I'll launch this system manager here. One second. Yeah. Hmm. Two disks fall in that aggregate, okay. And the rate group, what is the rate group here? Rate DP, rate TEC? No, no, no. It's rate DP or rate TEC? Rate DP, right? So rate DP can support up to two disk failure. Okay, you will have your spare disk. So the disk it will do the dynamic sparing to the spare disk and the spare. I need to mute it, bro. There's a lot of noises coming. Yes. So it will do the dynamic sparing. This, you know, the disk before the disk will fail. So it will copy the data, you know, or maybe it will make the spare disk part of the RAID group, and it will fail the disk. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. It will not fail the node or anything. It's not, you will not lose the data, access to data. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but one more thing. One more thing. Your disk got failed, right? What was the disk? Was it in data aggregate or root aggregate? That you have to tell me. No, 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 no. There are different kind of aggregates in Netapp. One is root aggregate, one is data aggregate. So data aggregate root was failed. I mean, sorry, disk was failed and the node got rebooted. Okay, it never happened to me. It's like it never happened to me. If it is root aggregate, it can happen. Okay, what is the array you are using? It's a end of life product. Yeah, end of end of life product, anything can happen, bro. You know, one of the client, it came to me, not client, I work as a storage architect, right? So one of the project came to me saying that, you know, I have this 7 mode 8.2 version. So yesterday I was not able to access to the CFS sessions, okay? So I just checked that there is no no upgrade available for that 7 mode version. So the only thing they can do is buy a new product which supports C mode and then migrate from 7 mode to C mode using 7MD tools. So end of life product, you should not. There are a lot of things will happen in end of life product, and there are chances that few issues that you get right, you cannot resolve it. It's not your fault. It's how the vendor has done it. So that you need to buy new product. That's why people does take refresh. You understand, right? It's the code they do. In I'll tell you one example. In our Hitachi, we are decommissioning the HCP, Hitachi Control Platform. Okay, it's an active archiving solution. What is happening? You know, the reclamation is getting stuck for 3 months, bro. What they're doing? They they came here with a script, a software package, and they install the package in environment, and from there they're doing it. So do you think we have the package? Our as a storage administrator, do you have the Netapp package or Hitachi package? We don't have it, right? Only the vendor can do. So there are few things we have to just tell to client it's not possible for us to fix it. End of life array. You better buy a new array and take refresh. That's why they say end of life. The reason why they say, and they make it harder for us so that we pay additional money. We shell out more bucks. It's not your fault, bro. And normally, logically, it should not happen until unless it's root aggregate. It should not happen. Mm. Okay, but yeah, that is okay. But aggregates is having how many disks? I mean, red group. How many red group? Two parity disk and data disk. It will be 2D plus 2P, 4D plus 2P, 1D plus 2P, 2D plus 2P. Okay. So thing is, if your data disk, if your if your disk is, if you have disk failure, it should not affect your node. But end of life array, as I said, it can happen anything. But it has never happened to me. Uh, in my 15 years of experience, I never see that because of disk failure, node has rebooted in Netapp. I've never seen that. Okay. Mm. No, no, no. You senior, you don't trust your senior always. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you share this article with me right now? Okay. So let us go back to this here. Okay. Mm. So now, right now, I'm logging into the GUI of Netapp. So it's called as ONTAP System Manager. Okay, you can see very nice thing. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I showed how to create the cluster. I mean, from scratch, you know, connect your laptop to the serial port of Netapp, and then you have to configure cluster management leave, node management leave, management ports and everything. Then you have to log into the node or cluster management leave in GUI or CLI, and then you can configure stuff. Okay, so I showed it's there in the video. You can see that. So here you have everything here. Okay, so dashboard is everything. You can see alerts and leaf not at home. So if leaf not at home, what you need to do? You need to migrate that leaf. Okay, see home port no. So then what you do? You need to migrate. Okay, you can migrate permanently or you can do. So just 1 second. Better way of doing things is just this. See like netting show hyphen um, netting show hyphen is home. Okay, is home the thing. Okay, is home. False. Okay, so you need to execute that command. You can see this is false, right? And you also want to see what is the home node. So if I just give it int revert, right, it will auto revert. I mean it will revert itself. Okay, int revert. 1 second. Int revert. I think his server is cluster 1. V server is cluster 1. Then leaf is cluster underscore mgmt. Okay, yeah. You know why got why lost our access? The reason is I did it in cluster manually, through which I have logged into the putty. Okay, Netapp, Netapp, 1 second. Mm, mm, zero, ensure FM is on false. See, there's nothing there. Okay, now go here. You just refresh it. 1 second. You have to log in because we changed in cluster and data, so you need to log in. And then you can see here, right? Refresh. You can see the error is no longer there. Yeah. If you see here, right? Net in show, you'll be able to see your cluster memory, right? It's E0C port. So previously, where was it? It was in E0C port of cluster 2. Okay, cluster 1, cluster 2. Okay, now it is in cluster 1. Cluster 1 is its home node. Okay, so whenever we do ONTAP update or anything, if some of the leaf is not in home node or home port, then we have to revert it back. Otherwise, we cannot proceed with the ONTAP cluster upgrade. Okay, so now we'll go with application tier. This is the basic things I'm showing. So you can see, right, application tier is having like applications. What are the applications you can use? Storage tiers, like if you want, these are basically aggregates. It will show you the aggregates. Aggregate is basically in other storages where you people have worked, like Hitachi or EMC, it called as storage pool. Okay, same thing, Netapp is aggregate. Here you create disk, make RAID group, and then you create aggregate. Okay, those things. The same thing you do in Hitachi. In Hitachi, RAID 5, RAID 6 is supported. In Netapp ONTAP, RAID 4, RAID DP, RAID TC is supported. In Netapp ONTAP Select, RAID 0 is supported. Okay, RAID TC means triple parity protection, means it can help you from simultaneous three disk failures. RAID DP is 2. Okay, so like that. And storage, if you go to storage, right, here you can manage, you can create an aggregate, you can you know create SVMs, volumes, LUNs, shares, CFS shares, NFS exports, Q trees. Q trees is basically for quota purpose. We'll be creating like in folder under CFS shares, and then we're giving quota so that we can restrict users. There will be two type of quotas: tree level quota, user quota. I'll show you all these things. Okay, So these are all basic things I'm telling, because people told me that they gave me that feedback that the training is too complicated. So I'm just telling the basic things now. Okay. So I think because there are a lot of stuff I need to cover, you can go through the syllabus, bro. You'll understand the thing I will teach. Mm, yeah. So in network, right? If you go to network, what you can see here, you can see subnet, Ethernet port, broadcast domain, all these things, IP space. Okay. If you go to protection, then what you can do from protection, you can do snap reader, wall relationships. You can do metro clusters, synchronous sampler configurations, and even in jobs it will give you alerts. Normally what I do is that I have a tool Occam, which I have, I downloaded the OVA package, OVA file of Occam, and gave it to the VMware team. They created the VM from the template and gave the IP to us. It's just a virtual appliance from the IP. I logged into the Occam, added my array. I'll get issues like SSL certificate expired, so I have to renew it. I'll get issues like, you know, HTTPS error, so I'll have to open the 443 port on the firewall. Then I will be adding those things, and from there I'll be configuring alerts and everything, and I can manage. I can integrate that thing to SolarWinds, so whenever some issue is there, automatically in ServiceNow, the ticket will be generated, and we can work on that. Okay, so you don't have to manually monitor our NetApp storages. There's one thing we do. Now here configurations, what we do in configuration. In configurations, we do that. Suppose we want to do snap reader configuration, right? So we have to create the cluster peering, SVM peering, all these things in configurations. Okay. ONTAP upgrade. If you want to install licenses, as I said, three kind of licenses there: cluster word license, node based license, and evaluation license. I've explained what are those. Okay, I can add and remove node from here. A lot of things I can do. I can uh, I can create auto support configurations also from here. Okay, auto support. So all these things I can do. Auto support is, suppose there is some issue in Netapp, you just create the auto support, and it will be sent to the Netapp support side, so the support engineer can analyze the logs. Okay. Here you can see, right? You can see this is, you can easily create all these things here from here. This plus sign is comes very handy. And this dashboard, what this dashboard does, what is the main job of dashboard? You know, it shows you the alerts status, it shows you the health, performance, shows the performance, it shows the node status. It's like whether there is any problem, it will show like cross if node is not in HA pair. Okay, so it will give you like very quick information, using which you can easily understand whether the cluster is healthy or not. Okay, yeah. So in Netapp, whether you use a hard disk like, NL SAS or B SAS. B SAS is basically large form factor like 3.5-inch disk. NL SAS is a 2.5-inch disk, small form factor, or SSDs. These are basically fundamental unit of physical storage in Netapp, and it is tied to a physical, specific cluster node by cabling, because you'll have like direct cabling to that. So the node will be owning that disk shelves or the disk. In case of failure, the other node will be the owner, because it has crisscross connections. Okay. So by default, each cluster node will have one root aggregate, which will have the node local disk that will have the node's operating system, ONTAP operating system. Okay. Whenever you do the ONTAP installation, the node's root aggregate will be automatically created, and it will have RAID-DB configurations. Okay, so it will have like one data disk and two parity disk, and the aggregate name will be like aggregate 0, AGGS 0. Okay, so let me show you this here. Go to storage tiers. See, you see this one, right? EGGR this one, EGGR this one, 0 this one. So these we are having two nodes. Every node is having one root aggregate, and this is not for your SAN or NAS data to, to place here. You're not going to place, it's just for keeping that on Netapp database, Netapp namespace informations, and your audit volumes, audit and snap mirror mapping volumes. Okay, so those things, AUD volumes, it will be here. Okay. Uh, you have two kind of different kind of data we use normally, FAS and AFF. FAS means you'll have like different kind of disks, SATA, SAS, flash, and AFF is all flash arrays, which is much more expensive. In an environment, we also have two, you know, two end of life arrays. We haven't received or we haven't got any error yet, but we might someday. Okay. So the only way we can get around to it is we need to install, we need to purchase. If you want to install your ONTAP in this hardware, right, you have to clean the data. So we're not going to do that. So you need to purchase a different hardware which supports ONTAP, and then you migrate from 7 mode to from this array, this hardware to that array using SVM DR or volume level snap mirror. Okay, so those things you can do. So and you know the fast controller that we have, right, it uses advanced disk partitioning, advanced drive partitioning. Okay, means ONTAP would automatically determine the size of the root and data disk partitions at the time of installation based on the quantity and size of the available disk to the assigned node. So whatever disk size assigned to the node, it will determine that what should be the size of the root aggregate. Okay, and this advanced disk partitioning, right, advanced drive partitioning can only be enabled at the system installation time, and you cannot convert your existing system to ADP. You have to reinstall the ONTAP again if you want to do that. Okay. This is I'm talking about for flash. For all flash arrays like AFF, hardwares, the advanced drive partitioning version 2 is there, which will have SSD disk instead of hard disk. Okay, because it's all flash array, and it will divide the SSD into three partitions: a small root partition and two equal size data partitions. Okay, and it will this advanced drive partition version 2, it supports entry level, mid range, and high end AFN platforms. Okay, so in this lab I will show you how, to understand whether we are using the advanced drive partitioning or not. Okay, so what I will do is that I'll go to the storage, I'll go to aggregate and disk. Okay, which here, and then I'll go to the disk tab. 1 second, I'll go to the disk tab. Okay, you can see SSD is here, you can see this is this much SSD here, root, you can see root aggregates and all these things. Okay, you can see how many SSD disks are here. This is root, 24 SSD disks are here. Okay, and you see this is root aggregate is, this consuming 70 GB of disk capacity, and if you go to here it's like 600 GB we have for for data aggregates. Okay, and you can see the spare disk is 600 GB. From there you can just use it. Okay, at 24 disk means what? So each node is having 12 disks. Each node is having 12 disks. Okay, so that is what you can gather from here. How do you get it? See here, disk size is 24.8 GB, and you can see this 12 disk per node. Okay, total 24 nodes. If we go to the inventory, You can see this SSD disk here, and everything is VMW. That means what? It's basically using software defined. It's basically using storage from VMware, from data store. Okay, so that's what it means. Here it's showing as 0. 0 means what? When a server deletes its data, it has to be zeroed in so that the capacity that is deleted is shown from the storage, and you can write into it. So zeroing is very important, and this feature is there in Netapp, Hitachi, and many other storages. Okay, yeah. You see, broken disk is nothing, not applicable. You see the serial number here, vendor VMware, that means coming from VMware. Okay, container type is shared. Okay. So what does it mean? It means that physical disk is partitioned. Okay, and the disk which are not partitioned, that will see as spare disk, or like data parity, all this thing will see. Okay, so let me just check. Here only share disk is available here. Okay. So here you can see every disk is having 28.4 GB capacity, right? Yeah. So now I'll see more about the aggregates. I go to the aggregate, I click on to one aggregate, I can see the overview, right? So you can see it's in cluster 101 node, it's red DP. Okay, and this is basically, this aggregate is basically root aggregate. Snap lock is disabled. So snap lock means what? Suppose you have data, imaging data, okay, and you don't want anyone to alter that data. So what you do, you'll use one file system, write one, read many times. So, and it will also have a snapshot policy. So you cannot read data into that volume until is your snapshot, your snapshot is expired. So that is something which is a very good feature in Netapp. Nobody's project, nobody's company, they are using snap logs, but I have not seen the usage of snap log that much in other projects or companies. Okay, yeah. If you go to you can see the algorithm disk here. You know, flex 0, RG0, red. You can see all these things, red root name and everything, red DP. You can see here all these things. Okay, disk information. Yeah. Here you can see the physical size is this much, but the usable size is only this much. Okay, because this is root aggregate. RedDP, why RedDP is there? Because so that when there is drive failure, it can protect at least two disk drive failures. Otherwise, if there is something happen with the root aggregates, then you won't be, the Netapp will behave very badly. So you should always ensure, some people which are having using protection, like production environment, they will use load sharing snapper for the root volumes. Okay. So now if you go to the all aggregates, and you can see where it is. Victoria aggregates. Okay. And you can see the same command from CLI adds better. Actually, you have to go to the diag mode for that. So, and this training is for 2 to 3 months, and you can repeat this for 2 years. So it's not a problem. I'll teach you about storage, uh, cloud, different kind of storage platform, VMware, Linux, all these things again, automation. So just the automation training I'll give on Ansible mostly, but I'll also teach you how to use Netapp functions and how to do database connection in Python, and how do you use your post methods, different kind of methods. Okay, so that's how I'll show you that. How to use a REST API to automate the repetitive tasks, because it's very important to learn automation. So 1 second. And you have rightly said that the other storages are losing its ground, but Netapp is always there because Netapp has built its software in such a way that it can integrate with any cloud, and also show you how to use uh, Amazon's FSx and Azure Blob Storage, Netapp Google Cloud Storage, Netapp Blue XP. Okay, I will show you how do you do storage and backup. Suppose your on-premise is Netapp, but your cloud environment something else. Suppose application, machine learning environment or data engineering environment is on cloud, but you are managing the storage. You want to there are some SOX compliances, and the vendor, I mean the project or the company, does not want your data to go to some remote country. Okay, so they want the data to be in their own country, like mostly banking projects, insurance projects that have confidential data. So in that case, you should have your private cloud. You should manage the storage infrastructure on your own, rather than relying on cloud vendors. It will give you better security as well. Okay, so let's just go to this diagram. I want to see the disk partition. So disk, as I already told, right? Fast array, you should enable the advanced drive partitioning during the time of installation. If you after the time of installation, you cannot do it, but in AFF array you can do it. Okay, so that's why I'm telling them you should always do take refresh. We used to use Celera, Clarion, VNX1, AMS, VMAX, 10K, DMX, lot of things, right? But those are not existing anymore. So technology is always being refreshed. Storage is always there, but only thing is that you have to acquire more skills along with storage. Then you will always have good opportunities. So storage is never a dying field. I know in 2015 or 16 people are telling that storage admin is a dying job, but you can see, right, it's not. But you should know Netapp. Okay. So let me show you this partitioning. Show hyphen owner name should be like cluster 01. You can see here. Okay, you can see here aggregate spares, aggregate spares, aggregate spares, aggregate spares. Okay, all these things you can see. Basically, what is aggregate? Aggregate is basically a group of disks on a particular node. Okay, a node can have multiple data aggregates, and when you create a storage virtual machine, you have to use the specific aggregate to host that SVM's volumes. Okay, you can assign multiple storage virtual machines on these servers to use the same aggregate, which will offer you greater flexibility in managing the storage space. However, dedicating an aggregate to just a single SVM provides greater workload isolation. Suppose you want to isolate your workload, right? So suppose you have three data aggregates: aggregate 1, aggregate 2, aggregate 3. Aggregate 1 to SVM1, which supports NFS; aggregate 1 to aggregate 2 to SVM2, which supports CFS; aggregate 3 to SVM3, which supports iSCSI or FC or NVMe. So you can do anything. Okay. So as I said, aggregate will utilize RAID so that can span across multiple disks. So although Netapp supports different kind of RAID configurations, Netapp recommends using RAID DB. Okay. So which is similar to RAID 6 implementation that will protect you from two disk failure. in that particular date group. Okay, and the root aggregate, once you create the cluster, install the cluster and everything, install the ONTAP storage, so what will happen is the root aggregate, node root aggregates will be existing. Okay, and you should not you should not use these root aggregates to host the user data. You should always create new aggregates on each of the nodes. Okay, so that you can host data of the storage virtual machines, like your data virtual machines, and the network that you use for your data CFS and NFS shares is data network. For cluster communications, you'll be using cluster network for physical storage, and for virtual or software defined storage, you'll be using ONTAP deploy. Okay. See, I have worked in longer hours in Hitachi and EMC, but I like Netapp because Netapp is capturing the market. Netapp is always being existing. You understand, right? Other storages, it keeps on changing. I used to work in VBlock. There is no VBlock. I used to work in VPlex. There is no VPlex. Recover band. Those are not existing anymore. Those are only being used by one project in Accenture. Okay, so this you can understand, right, how it is. You should also learn cloud, but you should learn specific services of cloud that you have to understand as a storage admin, and I also teach you DevOps. But the DevOps for only the part that I'll teach you in how to troubleshoot issues in DevOps related to persistent volumes. Okay, I'll be teaching you how to read raw Docker files and Kubernetes files, and where they put the volume informations that we give from Netapp. So I'll show you that. Okay, using Trident software, which is there to manage to integrate your Netapp stuff, Netapp volume storage with Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, which is supported by Netapp, of course. So I will create the aggregates. Okay, just I can create as either from CLI or GUI. So just go here. Yeah. So here automatically Netapp can create, is an aggregate on each node, but it's better to create manually. In disk ownership, whenever you are installing disk shelves, anything, the disk ownership happens automatically. Automatically, that node which is connected to the disk shelves will become the owner of that disk. Okay, but you can do manually also. You can disable the auto assign feature. So something there. So I'll go here. Create manually. So just click onto here. Okay. I'll just give the name or anything I can give. 5 disk is the minimum. Okay. So I'm using a 5 disk. Okay. So what is the rate configuration here? It is red DP. Okay, so 3 data disks and 2 parity disks, 3D plus 2P. Okay, I'm not be enabling a snap lock because I want write to happen on this. So I'm not going to create snap lock. I'll just submit to it once again. If you want to create mirror aggregates, I can create. I have created mirror aggregates in ONTAP select array, which is a software defined storage array. One of my Netapp cluster was corrupted, so I had to. Corrupted means it won't join in high availability. It was running only on single node. The nodes were not joining because somebody decommissioned the ONTAP deploy. So what what I did was I installed a new ONTAP select cluster and then migrated using SVM DR technology, which was a very nice experience for me. So I know each and every error that I've received there. Today I was working on resolving all the port issues. So few of these, ISO plastic discard issues, for which you need to replace the SAP. Few of these I saw loss of signal issues. So for that, I have to replace the SAP or cable. For few of those, I saw, uh, this one BB. I mean credit zero issues. For that, what I have to find is I have to find the slow and revise, which means credit zero. When it happens when your HPS speed cannot cope up with the front end storage front end port speed. Okay, so in that case, what happened? The ISO gives too much back pressure, and that is the reason you see performance issues in ISO ports, E ports. Okay, and how do you resolve it? You find the end devices where it's causing the problem. How do you do that? You analyze the support show logs, and once you have pinned down that end device, then you check what is the speed. Some of the cases that I've seen, it speed like 8 GB, 8 gigs, 8 GB support, and the front end port Hitachi supports 30 GPS. So you have to ask or request your server team or host team to do take refresh of that server, like update the HBase so it can support more speed, so that the grade zero issue is not there, no longer there. Okay, so there are a lot of things: cluster discards, loss of signal issues, uh, credit zero issues, and CRC error is there. CRC error means what? Suppose you CRC error using the transmitter is the issue here. Okay, so it's you have to replace the SAP of switch, and if the receiver is the issue, then you have to replace the SAP of Netapp port. It can be QSAP also. For QSAP you have to migrate the lead beforehand. I did this while I was part of Cognizant MX project. I did a lot of stuff there. I found a mentor, Brett Daly, who is 65 years old. He taught me everything I know. He was like a mentor to me. So depending, you just have to learn more things to become, so that you don't become obsolete. You have to know storage, VMware, backup, cloud, automations, and Linux. Then you are pretty good, well set. Okay. And other stuff is you can go to some other skill set like data engineering. My brother is doing PhD in France in data engineering. Okay. So those things. Okay. Yeah. So these are the things you can do. Okay. So I'll just submit this here. Somebody is calling me. Somebody's calling me. Okay, anyway. So here. So I create this aggregate. Okay. Second. I created this aggregate. So I went here just to HGS show what I can see. This is the aggregate which is created. Then I see what. Then I see. I can. I want to see the root aggregate and data aggregate. So I want to see the type. For that, I'm just trying to check what is the command there. Just aggregate storage type. Storage type is there, and then what? The storage type is open. I don't think so. No. Storage type didn't show. It's what disk is there. It's a VM disk, obviously. It's not a VM disk. Anyway, so I wanted to show what is data aggregate and what is root aggregate. Other web showing is here. In first one, this is HJ0, this is your root aggregate. HJ0, this is your root aggregate. This one is your data aggregate, which I created just now. Red DP. Okay. Yeah. And if I go here, I just clicked on to this one. I can see this is just see this. This is the aggregate type with SSD. Okay. Block and everything you can see. If you want to see the volumes, I have not created any volume here. Disk informations, you can see the disk information here. Okay. So those you can see. So anyway, tomorrow I'll talk to you about network concepts.